The movie opens with three young people breaking into a dark, cluttered house, its corners littered with bloodied dolls. As they explore, one boy freezes in terror at the sight of an eerie, life-sized man doll. Panic grips him, and he bolts. But the other two, Todd and Raven, remain fixated on their goal, which is retrieving the doll's heart for a contractor named Harvey. Before the fleeing boy can make it far, he is waylaid and taken out by a mysterious man. His screams echo through the house as his face is pressed against a whirring table saw, alerting his friends. As Todd and Raven react, the man doll's eyes flick open, its head inclining slightly. Raven barely has time to warn Todd before the mysterious figure appears again, this time hurling an axe that pins Todd's head to the wall, taking him out instantly. Raven runs. She narrowly escapes and makes her way to Harvey, desperate to explain what happened. But Harvey is unmoved. Instead of sympathy, he makes a call, ordering that someone close to her be beaten. It turns out that it's her father, a man deep in debt to Harvey. Her attempt to pay off what he owes has cost her friends their lives, yet she is given no choice. She must return to the house if she wants the beating to stop. Only when she agrees does Harvey relent. But this time, he has a different target in mind. The Jacastamara. He produces an old book detailing the capture of a powerful demon, imprisoned in a box long ago. Raven's new mission is to find that box, its rumored location hidden within the walls of a once grand manor, turned into an all-girls boarding school. Before she leaves, Harvey gives her one final warning. She must never open the box. Raven arrives at the school, struggling to adapt. The rigid rules, no makeup, no jewelry, no phone, clash with the life she knows. The principal informs her that she is early, as the school session has yet to officially begin. Some students, however, stay year-round. Among them are Kara, Olivia, Victoria, Aaron, and Willow. Raven also meets Dean, Olivia's boyfriend, who, for reasons unknown, seems to have unrestricted access to an all-girls dormitory. At night, Raven reads the book Harvey gave her. It reveals that the demon cannot take out the one who releases it. However, it will claim 6 lives before it can be sealed again, feeding on each victim's soul to grow stronger. Amused, Raven scoffs at the idea, calling it bullshit, until she finds a key hidden between the book's covers. The next day, she scours the school's map for a place called Crystal Creek, but finds nothing. Frustrated, she returns to her room, only to realize the book is missing from where she hid it. She spots it on a side table, open to a passage detailing how the Jacastamara can grant wishes. Not suspicious at all. The idea lingers in her mind. That evening, she sits by the fireplace with Willow, who confesses that this is her first time not going home. Her mother succumbed to cancer, and her stepfather doesn't want her around. Before Raven can respond, Olivia interrupts, shoving Willow aside. Irritated, Raven takes Willow's seat and challenges Olivia. Olivia retaliates by tossing Raven's bag out the window. When that doesn't faze her, she snatches the Jacastamara book and mocks it. The taunting escalates until Raven slaps Olivia. Furious, Olivia warns that Raven will regret it. Later that night, Raven sneaks through the school, using a detection device from Harvey to search for the box. Strange noises and eerie movements unsettle her, but she presses on. In the study, she finds a book titled Crystal Creek. Excited, she pulls it from the shelf, revealing a hidden keyhole. She hesitates, then slots in the key from the book's cover. A hidden passageway creaks open before her. The passage is lined with blood splatters and handprints smeared along the walls. At the end, she discovers a chained box engraved with the word Jack. She inspects it, then, against her better judgment, unlocks its padlock. Meanwhile, the principal is searching for her. Hearing her name called, Raven hides. Unseen, a dark spectral hand slowly lifts the box's lid. A man doll named Jack emerges. The principal, still searching, eventually stumbles upon the box. As she approaches, Jack retreats inside. Curious, the principal touches the box and peers in. Without warning, the lid slams shut, severing her fingers. She shrieks, staggering back, blood pouring from her hand. Before she can flee, Jack re-emerges, this time in his monstrous form, towering and clawed. He seizes the principal's face, draining her blood as her screams fade into silence. Her lifeless body crumples to the floor. Jack lifts her corpse and stuffs it into the box. The gears shift, displaying the number 1. The first victim has been claimed. Raven circles back to where she found the box, but it's gone. In its place, blood pools around the severed fingers of her principal. Horror grips her, and she doubles over, vomiting at the gruesome sight. The other girls gather in the living room, discussing their principal's strange absence. Raven barges in, accusing them of messing with her. She demands to know who took the box, but no one gives a meaningful response. Kara tries to calm her, but Raven storms off in frustration. Determined, Raven sneaks into Olivia's room, searching for the box. Kara catches her and warns that Olivia will be furious. She urges Raven to share her troubles, but Raven stays tight-lipped. Later, Raven breaks into the principal's office to retrieve her phone. Meanwhile, Victoria heads to the basement for a smoke. She notices rapid, eerie movements and assumes Olivia is pranking her. Following the figure, she stumbles upon Jacostamera's box. A twisted caricature of Jack pops out, making her flinch. As Victoria kneels to inspect the doll, its face peels open, revealing a snarling maw. Claws burst through the split face, seizing her. Jack drains her life force, leaving only a husk. The box shifts, now displaying the number 2. The demon has grown stronger. Upstairs, Dean, Olivia's boyfriend, asks about his missing mother. Olivia pulls him aside, offering comfort that quickly turns seductive. Initially, Dean gives in, but thoughts of his mother cloud his mind. He stops, causing Olivia to snap, accusing him of having feelings for Willow. Willow overhears, and, disheartened, heads downstairs. A haunting melody lures her through an open floor. She spots Jack's blood-splattered box beside Victoria's bracelet. Before she can react, Jack's eerie snarl fills the space, and he lunges. Willow screams, alerting the others. Raven rushes down and finds the box, now labeled Rose. Willow crashes into her, and together, they flee. Raven locks the door behind them as Willow collapses in tears, clutching Victoria's bracelet. The group realizes a malevolent force lurks in the basement, and it has taken out Victoria. Raven attempts to call for help, but there's no service. She warns the others not to go outside, fearing the creature will strike again. Kara presses Willow for details, and she recounts what she saw. Olivia seizes the Jacostamera book and blames Raven. The group turns on her, demanding answers. Cornered, Raven explains the demon's nature and how it operates. She reveals her true identity, swearing she never opened the box, that she didn't unleash the monster. The others remain skeptical. Panic-stricken, Aaron bolts, desperate to escape. Raven chases after her, begging her to stop. Aaron insists the only way to make amends is to run and find help. When Raven refuses, Aaron scoffs, calling her bravery an act. Aaron reaches a gated exit and struggles to pull the switch. Jack's screeching grows closer. Frantic, she tugs at the lever, but it won't budge. Seeing Jack's shadow, she hides under a table, heart pounding. Jack prowls closer, scraping his claws against the metal bars. Aaron holds her breath, hoping he'll leave. But just as she thinks she's safe, claws pierce through the wood, gripping her. She lets out a blood-curdling scream, alerting the others. Jack chases Aaron, and though she fights desperately, he overpowers and seemingly slays her. The others debate whether to attempt a rescue. Raven insists they can't abandon her, but Olivia argues that Aaron made her choice and must live with the consequences. The group reluctantly sides with Olivia. Later that night, Raven searches for weapons, determined to give them a fighting chance. The phone signal is still non-existent, and Dean pulls Olivia aside, suggesting they find a way to send a message to the outside world. Olivia, however, has a different plan. She proposes that they escape together, leaving the others behind to fend for themselves. Libby, that's cold. Dean hesitates, visibly torn, his gaze lingering on Willow, but Olivia presses him, and he finally gives in. They regroup with the others and return to the basement where Willow first found the box, only to discover it's missing. As they search, the eerie lullaby from the box begins playing again. Seizing the opportunity, Olivia whispers to Dean that this is their chance to escape. She locks the door behind the others, trapping them inside, and the duo dashes down the steps. Dean falters, conflicted between self-preservation and guilt. Meanwhile, Raven and the others pound on the locked door, demanding to be let out. Olivia confronts Dean about his feelings for Willow, but he tries to deny them. Unable to shake his conscience, he ultimately decides to go back. Olivia, unwilling to give up her escape plan, leaves him behind and continues on her own. Her plans unravel when she runs straight into Jack. A blood-curdling scream escapes her lips. Despite Olivia's betrayal, Dean returns for her, and together they flee, hiding in one of the rooms. Jack prowls, hunting them. Olivia stifles her sobs, trembling in fear. The silence stretches unbearably. Dean slowly lifts his head, scanning the room before signaling to Olivia that it's safe. Just as relief washes over her, Jack materializes behind the door. In a swift, brutal motion, he claws out Dean's eye, slaughtering him instantly. Blood splatters across Olivia as she shrieks. Jack forces the door open, but Olivia manages to escape by the skin of her teeth. Shaken and covered in blood, Olivia rushes back to free the others. When Raven confronts her about her betrayal, Olivia breaks down, sobbing as she recounts Dean's gruesome demise. The room they're standing in glows with an eerie red light. Jack suddenly appears, lunging at them, but as soon as he steps into the glow, his skin sears and he recoils, vanishing in pain. The girls exchange uneasy glances. Could he be deceased? In the next scene, Jack is shown hauling Dean's lifeless body into the cursed box. Meanwhile, Olivia, still rattled, repeatedly tries her phone, only to throw it in frustration when the signal remains unavailable. Raven, unimpressed, quips that it was a brilliant move. Tension erupts into a heated argument. Raven accuses Olivia of unleashing the demon and attempting to sacrifice them for her own selfish escape. This time, the others side with Raven. Deflecting blame, Olivia points a finger at Kara, claiming she's the real suspect. She reminds them that Kara arrived only months before Raven, effectively making her a stranger. Olivia also brings up Kara's longing for a different life, implying she could have made a desperate, dangerous wish and deal with the devil. Kara, wounded by the accusation, insists that though she wishes she had known her parents, the girls are her family now, and she would never put them in danger. As the argument rages, Raven skims through the Jacostamara book, searching for answers. She finds a crucial piece of information. The demon can only be slain under a blood moon, when the sun and moon align in a certain way. The realization clicks into place. Tonight is conveniently a blood moon, explaining the crimson glow in the room. The girls form a plan. Since they can't go outside, they decide to use the telescope in the lab to redirect the moon's light, turning it into a weapon against Jack. Later that night, Olivia flips through the Jacostamara book, desperate for another way out. She stumbles upon a passage suggesting that the deceased can be brought back by altering the inscription from Jack to back and reciting an incantation. Clinging to hope, she whispers the words, her voice trembling. But instead of the result she desires, a grotesque caricature of Jack erupts from the box, staring at her with an eerie grin, before vanishing back inside. A moment later, the box rattles violently. From its depths, a reanimated Dean emerges, his lifeless eyes now filled with something unnatural. He turns his gaze toward Olivia and lunges. Jack joins him, and together they chase the girls through the basement. Chaos ensues as Raven is forced to confront the twisted remains of Dean, while Willow stands her ground against Jack. Raven, thinking fast, uses the redirected blood moonlight, aiming it at Dean. The light sears through him, disintegrating his resurrected form into dust. But Willow isn't as fortunate. She fights valiantly, dodging Jack's strikes, but, in the end, he overpowers her. His claws pierce through her torso, impaling her as she gasps her final breath. Meanwhile, Olivia sprints for her life when a sudden blow strikes the back of her head. She collapses, dazed, as a familiar face looms over her. It's Aaron. Bloodied but alive, Aaron shackles Olivia, seething with rage. She accuses Olivia of causing everything, confessing that she never liked her, only followed her out of fear of Olivia's torment. Her fury reaches its peak as she flings open the box, releasing Jack. The demon wastes no time in torturing and slaying Olivia. Aaron, assuming it was all over, goes back to confirm Olivia's demise, but before she can react, Jack looms over her. Horror washes over Aaron as she scrambles backward, brandishing a jagged shard in self-defense. She drives it into Jack's side, but it does nothing, and the demon retaliates mercilessly, plunging his claws into her eye. Her scream cuts short as she crumples to the floor. With all 6 victims claimed, the box glows ominously. Raven, hearing Aaron's final cries, rushes toward the sound, only to find the eerie glow emanating from the box. A cold dread settles over her. Before she can react, a sharp pain sears through her back. She staggers forward, gasping, and turns to see Kara, gripping a bloodied blade. Raven collapses, betrayed and struggling for breath. Kara steps closer, her expression unreadable. She finally reveals the truth. Harvey, Raven's contractor, sent her. He had promised to save her struggling sister Rose in exchange for the box, but she had failed. She had taken too long. Her sister succumbed to her illness before she could fulfill her end of the bargain. Tears glisten in Kara's eyes as she confesses that she opened the box to bring Rose back. And as if summoned, Rose appears. Kara takes one last look at Raven, now bleeding out on the cold floor, before stepping out of the basement. The heavy door slams shut behind her, sealing the darkness within, and so, the movie ends.